Open your first image in Photoshop, then go to File, Place Embedded. Navigate to the folder with your photos and select the other photo. Then click Place to automatically place it in Photoshop. Remember that I provide free photos for this tutorial in the video description below. Now here change the blending mode for the layer to screen. Scale it a little bit, hold the Alt key on your keyboard and click and drag one of the corners of the frame like this. Let's hold the Alt key and zoom with the mouse scroller. And just drag it like this upwards until it looks like something like this. Either double click here or click here to commit the transformation. Now select the crop tool and just click and drag an area around the face in the forest like this. Something like this. Again, either click here or double click to commit the transformation. Let's zoom in a little bit. Now double click on the layer name to rename it to forest and hit enter. Click on the little eye left to the layer to hide it. And from here, hold the left mouse button and select the magic wand tool. Set the tolerance to 10 and set the mode to add to selection. Then click, make sure first that the layer with the girl is selected. Let's double click on the name and rename it to girl. Hit enter. Now click in the blank area around the girl to select it 2 times like this. If you have areas that are not selected, zoom in and click in the center of those areas. Maybe a little bit here, where you can see through the hair, and also right here. Control 0 to get back, and then click here at the top to choose select and mask. Now reduce the opacity a little bit, and let's scroll down and increase the feather. Let's shift the edge of the selection, shift it to the right like this. Let's zoom in to see better. So the red area should start to reveal some of the skin, so something like this. Increase also the smooth a little bit, and the feather to 3.2, the smooth to 9. Then choose output to layer mask and hit OK. Now go to image adjustments and choose invert to invert the layer mask. Control+0 to get back to see the whole image. Click here again on the eye icon to make the forest layer visible. Hold the Control key on the keyboard and with the girl layer selected, click here on this little plus icon at the bottom of the layers panel while holding the Control key. And this adds a layer below the girl's layer. Now go to Edit, Fill, and for the fill contents, choose white. Then hit OK. Now select the forest layer and let's add a new layer. So either click here again or go to Layer, New Layer, and hit OK. Now go to Filter, Other, and choose High Pass. Now Photoshop says that it can't complete the high pass because I forgot to put something in the layer. Don't worry about it, just go to Image, Apply Image, and hit OK. And then go to Filter, Other, High Pass. And now let's reduce or increase the radius depending on what looks better. Let's set it to 5 pixels and hit OK. Then change the blending mode to either overlay or hard light. Let's change it to hard light. Then click here and add a hue saturation layer. Click the saturation slider to the right like this until it looks something like this, or maybe a little less. 63. Here where it says master, click and choose greens. And let's increase the saturation of the greens like this, something like 54. Or if you think it's too much, 48 is better. Let's select now the reds and drag the saturation slider to the opposite side because I think they're a bit too much, to -9. What happens if we pick the magentas and increase the saturation or decrease it? I think it gives it a cool effect, so let's set it to 13. And if you want to enhance a specific area, you can click here and Photoshop gives you the information. Click and drag in image to modify saturation, Control plus click to modify the hue. So if you click and drag in the lips, for example, you change the saturation, increasing it to the right, and you decrease it to the left. And you affect the colors that look like the area where you started dragging. So let's leave it somewhere around 13. And now if you hold Control, you change the hue. I think that looks cool. Let's change the hue by holding the Control key and clicking at this point on the lips to something like, I don't know, 10 or 15. Let's leave it at 17. Let's close this hue saturation layer. Now let's select, make sure that the hue saturation layer is still selected. Add a new layer at the top. Go again to image, apply image, and hit OK. Then let's go to filter, sharpen, and choose this time smart sharpen. So this sharpens, of course, the image. The radius make it look more smooth when you increase the radius. And the amount is how much you sharpen it. So I think maybe something like this. Maybe reduce some more of the noise. And I think the radius should be a bit higher. And the sharpen a bit less. So something like this. So this is before and after the effect. Hit OK. And let's do one final step. Click here and choose levels. Then click and drag the whites, the slider for the white colors like this. So this is before, you can see the edge at the top of the head, and this is after, the edge is gone. Let's drag the grays a little bit like this to the right. And I think that this is the final effect. It looks good. Thank you for watching. Make sure to subscribe to Damien Photoshop channel and like the video. Thank you.